You're listening to The Women in the Arena. I'm your host, Paige, former collegiate athlete turned leadership entrepreneur for women just like you. Each week, I'm bringing you a new person or message to help you expand and elevate into the woman you know you're meant to be. Now, let's step into the arena. And just like that, we're on to episode 2 of The Women in the Arena. But today we're going to talk about the women in Barbieland. Are we over the hype of Barbieland yet? I really hope not. I mean, because I'm still talking about it. And even when you guys are hearing this, it's a couple weeks after I'm recording it. But it's a movie of the summer, right? I mean, Swifties have been talking about the Eras tour for what feels like a century. And I've seen posts from friends who've been to not only one concert, but like 2 or 3. And I don't necessarily drink the Kool-Aid, but I'm in awe of what T Swift has created, so Swifties don't come for me. Anyways, back to Barbie. There may be some spoilers in here, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't tune in or come back after you've watched it for yourself. But there's some huge things that stood out for me and that I really enjoyed, and I want to share those with you to see if you felt the same. So in the opening scene, it is obviously funny to watch Barbie's seemingly perfect life, right? But it's also captivating that she talks about yesterday being the best day, today being the best day, and tomorrow being the best day ever. And can you imagine if we woke up with that same feeling? I know it's unrealistic, but just go with me here for a moment. I was on a walk this morning with my fiance Peyton and our dog Catch, and we were trying to get our steps in before that heat came through. And I said to him, I was like, today is a day where I woke up with that I have to energy instead of I get to energy, because I was just thinking about this huge to-do list I have over the weekend. So we talked through those opportunities and excitement for the day so I could get back into that energy. But if I were in Barbieland, I would have already awoken fully knowing that today was going to be the best day ever. Because in the movie, I mean, Barbie didn't have emotion other than like excitement and happy in Barbieland. It's obviously not realistic to the human experience, but there are absolutely scientific ways to adopt more of the thoughts that are going to make you feel good. If you decided that today was going to be the best day ever, what would you do? I mean, just give it a thought. I would honestly be doing the exact thing I'm doing right now, but maybe a Beyonce concert at the end. But given the circumstances, I'm going to have the best day ever with the things that I have planned. And I invite you to give yourself permission to do the same. And even if you have to keep asking yourself throughout the day, this is the best day ever, so this is what I'm going to do. Or if this is the best day ever and I'm in the grocery store, this is what I'm doing. The other part that really stood out to me was how the Barbies took compliments from each other and gave compliments. So when one Barbie said, "You look so beautiful," the other Barbie said, "I feel so beautiful." I mean, it was really refreshing to watch these interactions because they fully accepted and validated the compliments that were given to them, right? And then another one I heard was, "I worked so hard, so I do deserve it." Like, how many times do you receive a compliment and try to brush it off or downplay it or whatever else we default to because it's uncomfortable, right? Like, I know for me, I catch myself doing this when someone compliments how good my hair looks. I tell them either like, "Thank you, this is day 4 of not washing it," just to get a laugh, or even to get the same reaction. I'll say, "That's because it's finally clean." And I wonder how someone would respond if I actually said, "Thank you so much, I love my hair," because that's actually true. So just think about it. One of the most interesting things, kind of along these same lines, that I found in working with my young female athletes is that almost every single one of them brings up the word cocky. And it blows my mind every time because it's not a word that's really in my language or I even think about anymore. They tell me that they don't want to seem cocky, or not in a cocky way, but I did really good here. And I always wonder, where does this programming come from? I mean, we usually spend time going through the difference between cocky and confident in the work we do because of it. And so cocky to me is when you're so focused on yourself and you have a fixed mindset that it's either like your way or the highway, and you're not open to what other people have to show you or to teach you. Like, cocky to me is from a place of true insecurity where you're trying to mask that. You're trying to put a mask over how you truthfully feel, right? And we can put masks over, I mean, we also call them buffers in the life coaching world or in the coaching world, because they're usually things that you do instead of facing a feeling. And so I think that the idea of cocky is one of those masks that you put on when you're not feeling good enough. I'm curious to know what you guys think, but confidence is not knowing that you're always right or not thinking that you'll succeed in every situation, if we go back to my athletes competing on the softball field, but understanding that you're going to be wrong and you're going to screw up and knowing what your response is on the other side of that. And that failing and messing up is actually part of your success. It's more of when you're confident, you just have that growth mindset and you're confident in your ability to stand back up. So anyways, back to Barbie, the part, you guys, that had me in stitches was when Barbie and Ken enter the real world and they're skating by the construction workers. And in that conversation, the construction workers like catcall Barbie. So she goes over there and they're talking and it came out of nowhere. And Barbie's like, oh, actually, I don't have a vagina and he doesn't have a penis. Like that just cracked me up. And I think the hysterical part was like how surprising that was. And I wanted to laugh or after that scene was done, but the theater felt silent and we had to move on. But it was amazing. You guys, when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I had very few examples of women in leadership positions. And sometimes when I shared what I was building with my friends or with my coworkers at the time, they just didn't really get it. Even when I wanted to create some new goals and talk about those ambitions, I didn't feel like I had a community of women to share that with, which is why I found an online community of other multi-passionate, like-minded women. If you can relate, join us in our Rise Facebook community where you get free weekly coaching, a network of amazing women who are also in the arena, and you're the first to know about the latest offers. Women leaders rise together. See you inside our Rise Facebook community. You can find the link in the show notes. And then finally, the scene that seemingly brought so many women to tears was Gloria's monologue at the end of the movie. So Gloria is actually who was tied to Barbie. And I have a quote here. And the quote is, "We have to always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. Like we have to be thin, but not too thin. And we can never say we want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but you also have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money." And so she just did a really great job of going through all of the conflicting ideas that society can place on us. And I also really appreciated how the movie really acknowledged everything that the Barbie brand created and creates. So they didn't try to skirt around, oh, well, there's this like unrealistic ideal of beauty. They really played into that and really faced it head on. And I think Mattel did the same thing. They just said, yeah, you guys can run with this and it can be a play on what we've created. And it also like gives us more PR. And I just felt like there was such a great dichotomy throughout the whole movie. But I thought that monologue by Gloria in particular was so powerful because it's a reminder that you really have to decide what you want to be for yourself. And I think that's challenging for us because we're always looking for guidelines. You know, we grew up in school when we had a teacher who said, okay, here is your math test. This is the math lesson. This is how to study for it. This is what's on the test. It's very regimented. And I don't have an answer for how else to create the education system. But we always look for answers. And so we look to our external environment for some of those cues. And even as I'm saying this now, I think it's something that's said over and over. It's like, just be you, right? And it's hard to conceptualize that. It's hard to actually put that into practice. It's easy for me to see other coaches in the online space creating different services. And then I wonder, like, what am I doing wrong? Or maybe I should be doing what they're doing. Everyone else has it figured out. And maybe they have the secret sauce. But I think what this scene is encouraging you to do is connect with yourself and be willing to ask yourself questions and willing to listen to your gut and your feminine intuition. I know that we all have these times where we just truly, really wished we had listened to our gut in hindsight, right? And the hard part is actually doing that in the moment when it seems really, really tough. We want to skirt over that and we want to convince ourselves otherwise because it's really tough sometimes to move through that gut feeling. But you actually do have the answers. We're so used to being human doings compared to human beings. And to me, a human being is really listening to those gut feelings and that intuition and what you know is right in your body. One of the most profitable sales I ever made, I have to tell you guys this story, was when I was drinking mimosas and dancing in my friend's kitchen when I was on vacation, right? And it's so funny because in coaching, we do spend a lot of time on marketing. I mean, any business, you grow with sales, you grow by growing your audience or your buyers or your consumers, right? And so you put a lot of time on the copy and your delivery and the visuals and the images, okay? And so that's all very, very important. I'm not discrediting that. But in this particular sale, I was literally just being myself. I had nothing else to work with. So one of my friends had a colleague who had FaceTimed her. And I was in my friend's kitchen. We were drinking mimosas. I was on vacation. I was visiting her, and her friend FaceTimes her and she asks who I am. And so my friend introduced me via FaceTime. And then I started talking to the woman on FaceTime, and she asked me what I did. I told her about my business, and she said, "Oh, I actually have a business coach that I scheduled to meet with this week. I'm looking for coaching." And I just took a sip of my drink and I was like, you know what? Go ahead and cancel that. And I was having fun in that moment. And I was like, but you can go ahead and cancel that and we'll go ahead and schedule a call and I'll talk to you about what you're looking for and see if it's a good fit. She ended up doing it, you guys. And that ended up turning into a 5-figure deal. Isn't that mind-blowing? It wasn't the perfect coffee. It wasn't the perfect copy. It wasn't the most appealing sales page. There was none. It was literally just me being fun and light and brave. And so I want to remind you guys of that, because the secret sauce is always what you bring to the table, what you pour into your projects, and what feels good in your gut, and move from those decisions there. So go see Barbie, take some beliefs from Barbieland, and really lean into what lights you up. What are you working on? Or who are you talking to? Or what are you talking about when you feel the most alive and creative? And do those things more often. I'll see you next time. I hope today's episode inspired you on your journey in the arena. Make sure to check out the show notes in the description for a rundown of today's show with all the important links. If you enjoyed this, please share with a friend. I know how much it means to me when my friends share podcasts. Leave us a review and let us know it landed with you over on Instagram at Paige_Renee15. As always, your best bet is on yourself.